whoever catches the ball, don't keep it to yourself again. After the session, pwede kayong lumapit sa KCON conference. KCON table outside, and you can exchange the ball for your free committed t-shirt.
So are you ready?
Are you ready?
Para mahina, please stay area. Are you ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Ay, saan po ba? Who here ready to worship Him like never before? Can you check the person beside you? Tingnan mo siya. Sure ka ba? Sacrifice. This is your... How about that? You just... As a sign, that's why we raise our hands. Because we, in an act of worship, in an act of gesture, that Lord, as my act of surrender, as my act of cooperating with your grace, I'm going to raise my hands up and put my hands up. I clap my hands. That's why, even if you don't feel like it, it's in our midst. So right here, right now, God's healing is here. God's providence is here. God's love is here. Offer as a pleasing sacrifice. Both love, call the Lord today. As a pleasing sacrifice. Follow me, I surrender. My He knows what you're. I will live. One more time, shout it out, all to Jesus. With everything you got, all to Jesus. This year. One more time. How many people are happy to be here? Make some noise! So good to hear all of you. Before we begin, I want to see all the hands of our first timers. If this is your first time, not at World Trade Center, but at the feast. The last 2 weeks, we have been learning all about the 3 steps that we find in the Holy Mass. Do you remember the 3 steps? Wherein Jesus blessed the bread. And we said that this is also why God blesses us with grace and gifts. And then we saw how Jesus broke the bread. Just like how God allows you to be broken. Not to bruise you, but in order to bless you. And today we will find out how Jesus bestowed the bread. You need to learn one thing today. That God did not break you again because he wanted to hurt you. The only way that God can share bread, the only way that Jesus can feed thousands of people with bread is breaking it so he can multiply it. And that's the reason. Everybody say extravagant. He extravagantly gave a very poor widow, put in more than all the others. For the others offer their, they pull out money to go home. You need to give allowance to your kids. Who would do that, right? We would all do that. But it's because we're practical. See, Jesus wasn't practical. In fact, he praised her for her.
Nito, 1,000 per plate or more? Utang na loob, huwag na tayo mag-plate. Yun pala yung nagpapamahal. I realize now, nung mas nagigipit ako, bakit Lord, mas nagiging madamot ako? Nung mas naging gipit ako, bakit mas masakit magbigay? Why is it harder for me to give now that I know that I don't have enough to make ends meet? And as I was reflecting on this verse, I felt God telling me, JB, you're thinking about it very, very wrong.
Touch somebody beside you, tell that person, God will continue to speak to you today. I want you to, I was walking at the very back and I was like looking at the wonderful people there at the back. If you could just, somebody beside you, I can't go to somebody beside you, be irrationally generous. Say that. One more time. Tell somebody beside you, be irrationally generous. The first time, and tell that person, be irrationally generous. This beautiful harbor, lovely, lovely scene in that restaurant, and then we were seated, we were using a table, those food, and she offered it to the two Chinese ladies, and she said, it's my birthday. And so, they got it, and they ate it, and, anyway, we finished our meal. Two Chinese friends walked by, and the beach, the most beautiful time. Guess what? I really believe this, that God was so good to my wife. His birthday gift to my wife was a car, a chauffeur, a tour guide, and a photographer. But that's not all. At the end of the trip, at the end of the whole time of being with these two people, two angels, they gave us a hug. Strangers. Do you know what we experienced that day? Ask me what. You know what? There was this boy, and he had a lunchbox. Say lunchbox. 5 pandesal, 2 fish sticks, Spider-Man action figure. His name in bringing that lunchbox. How many of you want the 285 feasts around the world free? Anyone can come in. Irrational generosity. My last story. Received 3 words from a doctor. 3 words that you would not want to hear. The leader did not ask, Ditas, how are you now? How are you coping with your cancer?
Sobra. Bakit sobra? This reminds me of a similar story in the Old Testament. Remember the manna in the desert? Let me read Exodus 16:4-5. Then the Lord said to Moses, look, I'm going to rain down food from heaven for you. Each day the people can go out and pick up as much food as they need for that day. I will test them in this to see whether or not they will follow my instructions. On the 6th day, they will gather food, and when they prepare it, there will be occasion of loaves started. Then the Lord, the next slide please. That evening, his disciples came to him and said, it's already very late, and this is a lonely place. Send the people away and let them go to the villages to buy food. That's a problem. In fact, they were trying to evade or escape. Know that guy? He loves to show God's magnificence in the universe thing. heavenly bodies. Alam nyo, sabi nung iba, kaya marami dyan kasi may mga alien pa dyan, di ba? May mga binibisita tayo paminsan. But Louis Giglio says, no? But what if we're the only human beings in the entire tayo lang? Eh para saan yung iba? What if that's a simple display and exhibit of God's? Are you listening to that? Alam ka sa negosyo mo, hey! Do you know how many Jupiters will, or do you see solutions? Do you see plenty? Do you see abundance? Are you a problem? Or are you part of the solution? You know, I'm not saying turn a blind eye. Let me give you the side notes. There are two versions of that multiplication for everyone. In fact, all I have to show you is this most irrational image of God's fullness of His generosity. This image. This goes beyond your comprehension. God dying on the cross, giving His very life, that's illogical, that's irrational. But no, He dies on the cross, and not just for the Jews, but for everyone. For everyone. Why, here's my irrational generosity challenge. Are you ready? My challenge is a call to action. That today, and hopefully every day of our lives, let's be irrationally generous. Alam niyo ako, I found out in my life, I long discovered, that my blessing is commensurate to my giving. Did you hear that? Alam niyo, I'm an employer, and I tell employees, I give talks to companies, sabi ko sa kanila, para kayo ma-bless, ibigay yung trabaho, lagpas dun sa binibigay sa inyo sweldo. Gets nyo? It is a wonderful wine ask to receive. In Jesus' name.
Sing, my heart is yours. My heart is yours. My heart is yours. Take it all, my life in yours. Take it all, my life in yours. My heart is yours. I'm yours. I will live.
I want you to put your arms around somebody beside you. Just tell that person, thank you for your irrational generosity. I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to do that, and Alvin has something to share with you.
May I invite you now to out your love offering envelopes, and you know, I just posed a challenge a while ago to be irrationally generous.